Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for another LEGO build. Today is going to be the first of the controversial LEGO builds in terms of the August first wave. So basically, I touched on this a little bit in the Bugatti Speed Champions build, one of the better sets in my opinion in terms of the August first wave for 2025. The more problematic, I would say, themes are definitely between Star Wars and Marvel. So essentially, Marvel has definitely been in front of the firing squad of LEGO fans for a hot minute now because of just build to minifigures to price. A little bit of everything between, I always say like the X-Jet and the X-Mansion, a lot of the like actual Avengers displays, the Civil War display, the Avengers Endgame set with the actual portals right now. Just stuff like that between builds and just non-exclusive minifigures driving up a big price because it's just a minifigure and it's a good one. But essentially, Star Wars is definitely not a victim or a culprit of this as well. The Death Star being $1,000 is definitely going to be a dividing factor for a lot of people. I won't be purchasing it. I say that now, we'll see, but probably not. I want a Death Star, I do, but $1,000 makes it a little bit tough. And then that's, do I want anything else? Because that is going to be the LEGO for me for a while, so we'll see. But first up on the list of controversial Star Wars sets for August 2025, we got this bad boy here. Now this is the Clone Battle Pack. One of my absolute favorite things in all of LEGO every single year. It's fantastic. We've been asking for Commander Bly and the 327th Star Corps for ages now. And of course, there are some 327ths from way back in LEGO's heyday. But these are, of course, the more detailed version. Now, the battle packs have ranged in history from $13 to about $30. This one here, and it's 7 minifigures and a couple builds with the AT-RT Walker and, of course, the Spider-Mech droid, is $45. And in terms of an army builder, it does its job. In terms of everything else, in terms of value, it's tough. It's tough to want to say, here's the $45 battle pack when we just recently had the 501st battle pack, which was fantastic. At least the first generation was the best. And of course, battle packs have grown. The originals, when they were like $13, yeah, you had a vehicle, you had a 3 to 4 minifigures, depending on what it was. I think the assassin droids might have been 5. But anyways, to get to the point, it's a lot. $45 for the basic, small version of the Star Wars Legos right now is a lot. And it's a lot for anybody. And it's tough to say that it's a great value. Now, of course, I'm going to build it, and I will give you my honest opinions on it, but as it sits, 7 minifigures is solid. 3 Super Battle Droids, meh, it's not bad, but it's an army builder, so I think those are fine. The 4 minifigures, now, I'm not going to throw a tantrum about pauldrons. Cloth, plastic, we'll see. I know these are the plastic ones, and looking at it, we'll see. But that's not going to ruin a set for me. I'm not going to have my life ruined by a pauldron. Are some design choices and inaccuracies with the clones unacceptable? Yes. But at the same time, I will be reviewing it also from the perspective of not just a big Star Wars and Star Wars LEGO fan, but as a casual LEGO builder. You want to pick this up because you like clones. I want to add some to the clone display. So I'm not going to completely have my life and review ruined by color inaccuracies or a bad piece of plastic versus cloth, but I will still point them out. So basically, long story short, I will try and be as much of a on the sides of both of these fences for this, because again, if I like a set and I don't like the pauldrons, okay, I'll go on Etsy and buy a couple. Is that my responsibility? No, it's LEGO's responsibility to make a good product, but again, at the end of the day, if you just want to pick up a LEGO and build it, that's not going to be the end of the world. So I kind of want to talk about it from both sides of that, where it's an interesting design choice, but it won't be the fan of everyone. Just like the holes in the side of the helmet, it's not for everybody, and I completely understand that. But yeah, this is going to be the first one. Of course, this is one of 2 in the Battle of Felucia, the other one being the MTT with Aayla Secura, Commander Bly, and a bunch of others. Another very questionable one. I've been seeing some interesting reviews. I haven't watched anything for it yet, but I know it's apparently defective, I guess is the word for it. So we'll see. That was what, like $1.60, I think. So yeah, essentially Star Wars Legos, very expensive this time around, and they're not the best. Concept, 10 out of 10. Clone Turbo Tank, MTT, Aayla Secure, Commander Blythe, 327th, amazing. I could care less about the flaming snowmobile, or this snow speeder. Could care less about that one. But the rest, the concept is great, and they've listened, and this is what some of the stuff that we've wanted. The Battle of Kashyyyk, another huge one that we're hoping to see. So I want this, like, these types of sets are great. Having a large set, like the Clone Turbo Tank, or less the Clone Turbo Tank, that thing's a dumpster fire, but that's going to be a separate review one day. But between the MTT and this, having the two sets that you can actually combine, but when those sets are $160 and $45, obviously it makes it a little bit tougher to actually constitute like $45 for a battle pack. But again, we'll build it, we'll go through and see how everything looks. That's good. Let's take a look, folks. As always, if you're interested in picking up this set or any of the others, I will have them linked in the description below. It does help support the channel at the exact same time. Let's get reviewing, folks. Alright, everybody, so here is the final build. Now, and again, if you look at this and you say, yes, that looks like $45, fair. I think most of us can look at this and say, not really. And again, this isn't like buying an older set. If this set was 15 years old and I spent $45 for it or more, that's different. It's retired, it is what it is. You can grapple with retired set prices, in your own world, it is what it is. But for this, it obviously doesn't look like $45 worth of a set. Now, the AT-RT is, in fact, pretty cool. I do like that yellow coloration. We do have a couple stickers, of course, for the 327th logo. And if you want to fire at some of your siblings, you do have a little launcher in front, but pretty standard in terms of what we've expected from the Clone Battle Packs with these AT-RTs, and of course, customized to this unit. We do also have a Dwarf Spider Droid, which is pretty cool looking. I do like the the eyes on this one. The legs are a little bit wonky, and they do move relatively easily, and it's easy to just, kind of push them flat. So it is a little bit fragile, but overall I do like at least the look of the build, but in practicality it is a little bit fragile overall. And then we also have a little firing turret as well. So again, some nice little play feature there. In terms of the minifigures, we do have 3 of these Super Battle Droids, not something you see very often. I do like that newish mold. Pretty much, I do like it. I do. I wish I had an older one sitting next to me, and I would have... Actually, I do. Hold on. So, this is an older model. They're exactly the same. I think the legs are a little bit different. But overall, like, you don't notice too much. Like, the head's a little bit different. If my camera could focus on either of these guys, that would be super. So just between the new and the old, it is a little bit different. I do like it. The head's a little bit skinnier. The body is a little bit thinner as well. But overall, I mean, it's relatively similar to the old one, just some subtle differences. And all 3 of them are, of course, going to be the same. Then we move on to the bulk, the reason you're buying this set, which are the 327th Star Corps minifigures. They're solid. I don't mind the pauldrons. I kind of like them. They're a little bit more pronounced than they would be with cloth, so I am okay with that. I like them. I do. I think that they're pretty cool. They have some nice... Try and move that blaster out of the way. They do have some nice torso print as well, which I do quite like. So I think they did well in terms of like the colorations. Again, probably some sort of inaccuracy. I'm here to review the set more than I am color accuracy with some of these clone troopers. But I really do like it. Now, this is obviously the commander of this group. It is not Bly. It's just supposed to be, some generic like clone captain or something like that. But you can tell by his little communications array up top. But I like it. I do really like the pauldron. 2 of them come with these standard blasters. Come on, camera. You got this. The one downside of this lens, it does not autofocus fast enough for some of these videos, so I'll have to see what I want to do in that category. And then we have one with a pair of binoculars and a small pistol / blaster as well. But yeah, so, I mean, again, if you... if you think it's worth $45, that is up to you. I think it's a decent set. I enjoyed it. Again, a little bit fragile here for some of these builds. You know what? I think I had the legs wrong maybe that whole time. I don't know. I'll have to play around with that. Maybe I want to change those up a little bit here. But in terms of the actual set, I do like it. It's not too bad. But for the $45 mark, I definitely would have liked to have seen this right around that 25 to 30, which is where it should be. Now, it's a good array of minifigures. The 327th are obviously something we've been requesting for a long time as a community. And then the Super Battle Droids, it is nice to see them in another set. But overall, I mean, it's okay. It's an okay set. If the price was a little bit lower, I would feel better about saying it's a really good set. Like, if this was 20, even 35 on down, I think was a good price point for it. It would be a great set. Just the way it is, it's okay to good. Good minifigures, okay in every other regard. But yeah, obviously, that's the main reason you're going to be buying it. The ATRT and the Dwarf Spider Droid, they're cool, but you're buying this, let's be realistic, for the clones and maybe a little bit for the droids. But that is going to do it for this review, folks. Thank you all so much. I do have the MTT coming up in the next couple of episodes. I don't know if I'm doing that next or if I'm doing Optimus Prime. I still have to do the Sherlock Holmes review from the very first, the May wave, I think it was, or June. It was the June wave, but I have a lot going on, so I'm trying to get through these as best as possible. But I do like this build. It is what it is. You know, if you're going to be picking up a lot of these and you want to do a build like an army builder, probably wait for double points or a sale, because this will eventually go on sale. So I might buy a couple more in the future. It depends on what I want to do. I don't think I'm building a Battle of Felucia with this in the MTT yet. I think I'm going to just do it like a clone trooper / Republic display of all the different vehicles, and then I'll go from there. Obviously the MTT will be separatist, but you know what I mean. But thank you guys so much for joining me for another LEGO build. As always, if you're interested in picking up this set or anything else from the August 1st wave, I have links to everything in the description below. Same thing with any of the lighting kits that you happen to see in the background or anything like that. It does all help support the channel as well. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, follow me on Instagram, Get Bricked, TikTok, the whole 9 yards. Again, links to everything in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy building, everybody.